qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure?
Ah, mais c'est le président.
Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger?
Ah, mais c'est le président.
À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Sonia Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux.
Hi. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndive Lisinga, the leader of British Cameroun National Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to send my warm greetings to the people of La Republique du Cameroun and to the people of British Southern Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, we created British Cameroun National Party in order to fight legally in accordance with Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroun, the right to self-determination. La République du Cameroun surrendered their sovereignty and independence to France in 1959. We cannot be crying more than the bereaved. Ladies and gentlemen, today I've come to make this clear to all of you, the people of the Cameroons. La République du Cameroun has already got a new president. So all this charade, all these things that people are playing to the galleries, backing to the moon. You see political obscurantists and numbskull. They come and talk, we want change. There's going to be change. 2025 is going to be different. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many people have ever done legal research in their life. If you have a probability, if there's a probability you calculate since 1992 to now, what are the probability that somebody can defeat Mr. Bia and chop people their money, taking into consideration all the circumstances that they are controlling everything? You look at, since 1st October 1992, Mr. Bia had 39%, John Frundi had 33%. So you look at those things, legal research or probability. 12th October 1997, Mr. Bia had 97%, Hogwenle had 2%. That's how you do legal research or probability. Those who, I don't know, was probability again, was it mathematics again? You look at those things, it's not because you are negative. You don't just come and say certain things to please yourself, illusion. You have to look at the situation. You have to do research. You have to look at the past. And mathematicians will call it probability. You look again on the 11th of October 2004, Mr. Bia had 70%. John Frundi had 17%. You look at those things. Legal research, probability. Is it possible that somebody can win? The CPDM chop people the money headed by the new president who is hiding behind the scene in the name of Mr. Bia, who is like a trademark, a Coca-Cola bottle. On the 9th of October, again, 2011, you look again, Mr. Bia had 77%. John Frundi had 10%. On the 18th of October 2018, Mr. Bia had 17%. 70% rather, sorry. And Mr. Kamto had 14%. So when you look at probability, those are things that you do when you hear that somebody is a researcher, somebody is a legal practitioner, somebody is a legal researcher or a mathematician. You do probability I'm sure most of us will know those things. So you come to a conclusion that based on all the evidence and probability, it is impossible, taking into consideration that nothing has changed. Constitutional Council is being run by an appointee, a retired person. Uncle Enoch too is there in Elekam too. A retired man was governor in Northwest. You look at all those probabilities, you cannot tell me that you're going to win the election. So most of those people who are vying to become presidential hopeful, the truth is, they know deep inside their mind that they cannot win, chop people the money. Most of them, some of them which I know, are being paid to stage presidential candidates so that the international community will say there's democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, democracy is not compulsory. I would prefer good economy, a vying economy in the Cameroons than democracy. Why? You just go and elect people who don't control the country. So my point is, I've seen some of the candidates, and even including the ones who are not included, they are all court jesters, they are clowns. Because I understand in the Cameroons, we have educated people, I said that, but we don't have intellectuals. Intellectuals are people who have the ability to think. You have to philosophize. That's what intellectuals they do. Because I've seen in the Cameroons, people who always talk about these things, and maybe they taught some of us in school, reunification of Cameroon. How can you reunite a Portuguese sugar slave plantation? You can't. You can only reunify something that was existing. Under the Portuguese, it was a slave sugar plantation. Under the Netherlands, Portuguese slave sugar plantation. Under the Germans, it was still Portuguese sugar slave plantation. Under the British and the French, it was still under the Portuguese sugar slave. It was not a country, that's what I'm telling you. None of them, they were not country. After they defeated the German, they just share it. That Portuguese sugar slave plantation. And people keep, oh, Cameroon was one. Who was that president who came from Africa who was in that Portuguese sugar plantation? Who was that president? Or in the German Cameroon, who was that president who was from Africa there? Because you need a political authority, indigenous political authority. Who was that person? If I say reunification of Germany, I know who was the president of Germany when it was partitioned, then they reunited. When we talk about Poland, I know who was the president before it was partitioned, then the reunification of Poland. So we should stop misleading people. And Article 65 of the Constitution of the Cameroon gives us that right. La Republique du Cameroun government have no power to say Maître Mola Alex Divelisinghe is talking about the right of self-determination. The right of self-determination could be internal, it could be external. We could say we want to separate back and go back to our former country, West Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon. It is a political right. It's a democratic right. I can say, I want to form a political party to separate the whole of Yaoundé. Nobody should say you want to separate. Political right, you promise the voters that if you vote for me, this is what I'm going to do. So you cannot arrest somebody based because of his political opinion. I can say I want to go and make Fako to be a country. Vote for me, I will make a referendum. It is my political opinion. If the people vote for me, good. That's how politics works. Because I understand in the Cameroons, we don't know politics. You can go and learn political science. It's something different. At the end of this program, I will tell you. I learned a lot outside school. I've been doing politics in the United Kingdom for more than 20 years. Registered in a political party, stood for election. You learn. We don't have that structure in the Cameroons that you can learn and qualify and become even a minister. In most Western democracy, real democracy, if you want to become a president of a country, maybe you start as a councillor, maybe a mayor, maybe a parliamentarian. You learn through that process. You govern small things. But in the Cameroon, how do you learn? How do you learn to become a president? You take somebody, he teaches in the university. What do? You appoint somebody a minister. How do you make policies when you don't know anything? I am a lecturer in the university. Maybe I'm teaching law or English or chemistry. Hugo Len was a mathematician in France. You just take him and make him a minister. They cannot run a ministry. That is why the Cameroon is so backward. When you appoint somebody who have no political experience or to manage or govern any small enterprise, when they go to the ministry, you have this conseiller technique. You have these people who have stayed there maybe with BPC. They have been there for a long time. They will only draft things to you and they give it to you, you sign. That's how ministers they are in the Cameroon. They cannot make policies. So when I look at the presidential list, people are saying, this is young, this is old, this is that. I'm not interested too much in the age. I'm interested in competence. And I will tell you, I've looked at the list, all the people who are standing for election in the Cameroon, I don't think they are competent enough. Because I've invited most people to come, let's have this debate. You can study all the books on planet Earth. If you cannot stand and communicate with your people, all of you are doing Mr. Bia, silence, quiet, you hide. That's not politics. If you cannot communicate and answer questions every day as a politician, you are not a politician. However, I know in the Cameroon, you people have civil servant politicians. Mr. Bia was a civil servant. Kamto was a civil servant. Aijo was a civil servant. Prime Minister Dion Ngute, civil servant. We are looking forward for the day that we'll have politicians like myself to start leading. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people are talking about, oh, they want change. I'll tell you, when you want change, I'll give you 2 or 3 examples. Bello Buba, some of you is standing as a presidential candidate. Do you want change from Bello Buba? Do you want change from Bello Buba? I want to know. Because in 1960, Bello Buba joined what? Is it the CNU? No, he joined the CNU, yeah. When Aijo banned political parties in the Cameroon in 1996, he became member of Aijo's party. My point is, you look at somebody's CV. Since 1960 to 2025, what has Bello Buba done in the Cameroon? How can he change a country? Listen, no single person can govern a country. Mr. Bia is not running the Cameroons alone. He was running the country with the Aijos, Bello Buba, Chiruma, Kamto. They were the one running the country. One person cannot run a country on his own. Take note, we keep on saying Mr. Bia, Mr. Bia. And I will tell you why all these people are failure. Because La Republique du Cameroun is not an independent country. So what were they doing as ministers? That's my point. In 1992, Minister Bello Buba joined, became the president of, how do you call his party? National Union for Democracy and Progress. Yes, that's his party. How do you call his party? National Union for Democracy and Progress. Is there democracy in the Cameroon? Democracy is not just election. It's not just multipartism. It's the rule of law. It's freedom of expression. It's people's right. His party is called National Union for Democracy and Progress. Let's say it was created when? In 1992. The first president was Samuel Eboa. Let's follow and see. This is somebody who wants to bring change. He has been in that political system since 1960. Can he list one thing anywhere, whether he has done it, whether it's in Bamenda, whether it's in his hometown in Garawa? Let him name one thing. 1960 to 2025. What has he done? He joined in 1966. He joined CNU, which is now CPDM. He joined 1966. Minister Bello Buba became Prime Minister in 1982 under Mr. Bia at the age of 35. 35-year-old Bello Buba. What were his achievements? Nothing. France was still ruling the Cameroons. At the age of 35, Minister Bello, let's look at his achievement as a prime minister. Nothing. A 35-year-old man. Today, you people call people in the Cameroons 50 years, 60 years that they are youth. But you are a prime minister, the youngest prime minister under Mr. Biya. What did you do? What did you do? That's what I want to know. In 1984 to 1988, 1988 rather, he became Minister of Transport. Can you imagine? Minister of Transport. If you want to see if somebody can change something, you look at their CV. What can Minister Bello Buba do? Those are people who want to bring change. People who have been in politics or running the Cameroons since 1960. In 1991, he joined UNDP. That's when he joined that is UNDP, because Samuel Eboa was the first president of that is party. In 1992, he was a presidential candidate with no manifesto. No manifesto as they do in the Cameroons. In 2011, he became Minister of Tourism. For how long? 14 years. Can you go to places in the Cameroon? Where can you go as a tourist? Look at the roads. Is it Minister Njumesi of Transport? He was showing roads there, somewhere around Mutengene. How do you travel and go to one place to another when there are no roads? Tourists, they need roads. 14 years. Then in 2025, he resigned. So from 1960 to 2025, what has Bello? If you ask me, Maître Mola Alex Ndivelisinger, take note, Minister Bello Buba was being paid by taxpayers. Take note, myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndivelisinger, I've never worked for the government. I've never belonged to any political party because they are shit. They don't have any manifesto. So I've never. When I look at all the political parties, people were just following. John Fundi, Paul Biya, Bello Buba, Samuel Eboa, Wungi Masaga. They were just Jean-Jacques Ekidi with no manifesto. That's how Cameroon is. They don't tell you what they're going to do. So I've got to do, what has Mr. Bello Buba done? So he wants changement. I will tell you what Maître Mola Alex Ndivelisinger have done with other people. When we realized that René Zengele wanted to assimilate our English educational system with the French, we walked from CPC Bali, we came and stopped all the school. It was stopped. That's doing something. Nobody is paying me for that. But Bello Buba, taxpayers, they are paying them. What do they do with taxpayers' money? What do they do with it? I want to know. When I realized, by then I must have finished my A-level, we started fighting for GCE board. Without taxpayers' money, nobody employed me. It was my activism with other people. They gave it. People had a GCE board, people were employed there. That's it. During my days, there was no GCE board, but we fought for it. I went to Ngwakele. 99% of my lectures were in French, in public law, French. Sometimes we have to chook head, do all means, gymnastics. I was successful in Ngwakele, in public law. We started fighting for Boya University and others. You know, when we fight for something, for the people of British Southern Cameroon, La Republique will give it to us, then they give it to La Republique. That's what they always do. They don't start the fight. They keep quiet. When we fight for something, they make sure that La Republique to get what we're fighting for. They already had the French university. Ngwakele, they had faculty of letters, as they call it. But most of it, science nat, direct translation, natural science, an Anglophone to go there and pass when I was in Ngwakele, science nat, it was very difficult. The same with public law, because everything was French, French, French. That was it. So myself, I fought for the people that have Boya University. How many people are teaching now in Boya University? Because of people like myself. How many people who used to go to Nigeria who could not go to Ngwakele, Nigeria to write jam all? We gave you that university. We forced Mr. Biya. Mr. Biya did not stay one day in a 2D and say, let me sign a presidential degree and give Boya University. We fought for it. And today, some people who are lecturing in the university, they stand and they laugh at me. They look at me as if I'm enemy of the state. They like Tico drink, Kumbatron. We fight, they chop. We fight, they chop. Same with multipartism. When we're doing it, how did they call Benjamin Etwe and other people, they were marching. Di Mabola, no, we want one party system. Today, most people who are members of parliament, they were against us when we were fighting for multipartism. When we fight for something, they are against it to support Masabia. Then when the position is there, they take it. I'm just saying, what has Bello Buba done in the Cameroon? I'm telling you things that Maitre Mola Alex Divelising and others have done. When they were beating university students, when they were beating lawyers and teachers, where was Bello Buba? Where was Akere Muna? Where was Issa Chiruma? All these people now will say, oh, presidential candidate. Where were they? So you see, in the Western world, if you want to become a politician, you start fighting and protesting for people in the community. You do things for community. In Cameroon, people who don't do things for community, don't stand for the people. They want to be president. They want to be governor. So it is the opposite. In the Western world, in Britain, in America, in Europe, it's people like myself who become those ministers, those presidents. Because you fight for the community. You start grassroots politics first. When most of you see us, we challenge the government. When a government is there, you challenge them and give alternative policies. That's politics. Unfortunately, most people in the Cameroons, they think they have opposition. They don't have official opposition in the Cameroons. They just create a political party and you become a leader, but it's not official. When an opposition is official, it means they give you a duty. Either Mr. Bia or Prime Minister Dion Ngute, they must come and answer questions in front of the official opposition. They will ask you about Cam Gate, Olembe Gate, COVID Gate, all those things. They ask Mr. Bia, he answer. There's an official opposition. Who should have been fighting for those things? All these so-called oppositions, but they kept quiet. We fight, they chop. We fight, they chop. That's how they are. That's why look at all of them. They are not fit even to be presidential candidate. For me, that's my opinion. Even Mr. Bia is not fit to run the Cameroon, and I'll tell you why. We fought again over the streets of London and other parts of the world. They call a major national dialogue. Those who were against us, you have House of Chief. They go and sit there, they eat. Chief Ebako was against, even when Cardinal Tumi was talking about federalism. Cardinal Tumi was saying, Chief Ebako was saying, yes, we want special status. I saw a newspaper headline some years ago. Oh, there's no power in the special status. So what were you fighting for? They just say something you follow because you want position. Today you are in the House of Chiefs. What are you people doing? When we fight for something, in the Western world, if you fight for something, you who is the fighter, you should be that leader. People who don't have a clue on what we are fighting for, they want to lead it. That's why we have problem in Africa. It's not only in the Cameroons. So when we say we want change, what change do we have? Do we want indeed? Look at Mr. Issa Chiruma too. He left UNDP and went and created his own party, whether it's Front for the National Salvation. To salvage what has he done? He was a young man working as an engineer when he left Western country. He went and left and created his own party in 2007. He was made Minister of Communication in Mr. Bia's government. Is it 2009? Minister of Communication. Somebody who said there's no Anglophone problem. How can you say that today he's saying there's Anglophone problem? So what has these people done? They have damaged the Cameroons. We are a laughing stock in the Cameroons. In 2019, the same person was made with the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training. Let him come and tell us what has he changed, what employment has he created, what I want to know the people that he has trained and whatsoever. What changes has that man brought in the life of the people? Using taxpayers' money for doing nothing. to feed your family and your friends. That's what they do. They don't even run the Cameroon, and I'll tell you why. They don't run the Cameroon. You have Mr. Moise Kamto, who happened to be my lecturer. As I always distinguish, I love him as a lecturer. He was the best in public law. He was our best lecturer. But I'm talking politics now. There's no friendship between politics, teacher and student. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work that way like that in politics. I'm talking politics. In 1999 to 2016, they sold Bakassi. They gave it to Nigeria. A lot of people say, oh, they resolved the problem. No. All they said is that legally, in paper, you Cameroons, you own it. In paper, legally. But the people who are benefiting from it are the Nigerians living there. You must not force them to change their nationality. I've never heard that in my life. That a foreigner in your country has no right to change their nationality. You go to any country, they have to give you stay to stay in that country. You must not tamper with their indigenous land right. Those are the things. Mr. Moise Kamto and Professor Tamak, who happened to be in university, my lecturer too in those days, they sold Bakassi because it belongs to British Southern Cameroonian. Bakassi was not a success. The game, to put it in another word, what happened in Bakassi is as if I buy a house, my name is there, I'm the legal owner. I hold it on trust for my son. If I want to sell the house, it goes to my son. That's how Bakassi is. We are the legal owner, but it belongs to those Nigerians because they are the one benefiting from it, not the people of the Cameroons. Nothing against Nigeria. This is just for party political broadcasts and for educational purpose. Because a lot of people don't know what happened in Bakassi. They can Google and read Green Trade Agreement. All the terms and conditions are there. It is good to read. It's very good to get information. Knowledge is power. Okay, after that, as usual, Mr. Biya said, okay, you have helped to resolve this problem. He made Mr. Moise Kamto Minister of Justice. Look at our justice system in the Cameroons. It took how many years since 1960 before they know that they don't have common law department in this department? So what did Mr. Moise? I judge you based on what you have done. Let my Professor Moise Kamto come and tell me, when you were a Minister of Justice, what did you do? Is there prison law? Is there prison reform? What have you done? Do we have jury system? Why is it that we don't have the common law or the English institution in British Southern Cameroon and your own institution in your own area? When you were studying in France or other European countries, don't you know we don't have the same system? The Flemish, they have different system. You cannot take one size fit all. What reform did Mr. Moise come to make? I don't come here to make camaraderie. I come to speak a fact. But what did you do? All of you, Bello Buba, Chiruma, Moise Kamto, then he resigned in 2011. So my point is, I've looked at the list of all those political hopeful or presidential hopeful. To me, none of them, they are not fit to lead Cameroon, including Mr. Biya. And I'll tell you why. I've invited them for a debate. Why? When you debate with people, you can understand why if they know how to govern a country through debate. There are some general things rather that you must know. You must know. It doesn't. You cannot go and be a president or a prime minister in a country without knowing this thing. I'm not saying that you should be an economist. You should be a lawyer. You must know the basics. You must know the basic of economic management. Basics. So that if you delegate jobs to people, when they bring it, you supervise it, you know. If you don't know anything about economic management, they come and lie you, how will you know as a president? You know the basic, you give it to expert, they go and do the thing, they bring it on your desk. But if you don't know at all, how will you do? You have to understand the economic system, the different economic models. Whether it's capitalism, socialism, mixed economy, you must know those things. You need to know fiscal policies, taxation, government spending. You need to know how to manage government debt. Then you need to know how to maintain stability. So when you debate, political debate, they will ask you questions, you talk, but all of them, they are afraid. Pobia is afraid of a debate. Kamto is afraid of debate. Bello Buba is afraid of debate. Issa Chiruma is afraid of debate. Akaremuna is afraid of debate. You people should come and debate. If Mr. Bia don't want to debate among yourself. You'll be caught out. You'll be found out. I know. Most people are scared. If you are a politician, you cannot communicate, you cannot answer questions, you are not a politician. You are not a, you cannot, they can only know if you are fit to govern a country by knowing these basics. Most of you, you did not even know that there is no central bank in the Cameroon. If they ask you, you say Cameroon bank is Biak. No. You did not know. All of you talking, whether it's Bello Buba, Chiruma, Kamto, Akeremuna, all of you, you did not know. You just believe that, oh, we have a central bank in Biak. That's what was inside your head. You cannot run a country without knowing this type of things. You need to know what is the monetary policy. You people don't know. I don't care. The reason you're not debating, because if you come and debate, they ask this type of question, you will not be able to answer it. You have to, monetary policy is what? Understanding the central bank management. How it manages interest rates, money supply, and control inflation, and to control growth. Those are the things you have to do. But in the Cameroons, most of you say you want to be presidential candidate. Who is doing the monetary policy of Cameroon? France. Who control money supply? France. Who determine the interest rate and inflation and to control inflation and to control growth? France. So how do you want to be a president when you will not be controlling your economy? None of you are not answering this question. That is the problem I have with you, all these fake candidates. You people are fake. La Republique is not sovereign, is not independent. You have to know basics of what? International trade and international finance. Basics. You have to know the basics of constitutional law and the legal system of the Cameroon. Do you know? Some of you claim you know. What is the legal system of Cameroon? You speak to a British Southern Cameroon lawyer. Instead of talking common law, he's mixing you some French thing them where me I don't even understand. There is no, the legal system of the Cameroon is so confusing because normally in a democratic country, the two systems, you cannot mix them. If you go to British Southern Cameroon, they will have a different legal system. You go to La Republique, different legal system. If you go to England, there is a different legal system. You go to Scotland, there is a different legal system. You go to Northern Ireland, there is a different legal system. You go to Quebec, there is a different legal system. You go to the whole Canada, different legal system. You go to Belgium, there is a Flemish, different legal system. You go to the French side of Belgium and English, a different legal system. You go to France, even which they speak the same language, there is a different legal system in a different part of France. How come that is only in the Cameroons that we have one legal system when we have two separate legal systems? Then we have our different customary laws. These are things. This presidential hopeful, none of them they cannot answer. The legal system in Cameroon is not even existing. If there was a legal system, they will not be breaching Article 65. They will not be torturing people. If there was a legal system in the Cameroon, when the barrister Yondo Black, they wanted to create a political party, they wouldn't have been torturing them, arrested them, locked them up. If there is a legal system, every day we see they torture people in the Cameroons. If there is a legal system, you cannot be torturing your own people. You have to know public administration. You have to know public finance. You have to understand the civil service. You have to know foreign policy and diplomacy. There's a lot of things. You have to know it to be a leader, and you don't go and sit in school and study all those things. Sometimes it's by working with other people and working, having that experience as a politician, meeting in party conference. Cameroon is the only country. Every year, all political parties in Britain, the United Kingdom, every year they have their meeting around September. All political parties, they sit there, they debate with members, they make policies. But in the Cameroons, you don't do that. They say the president of the country shall determine the policy. One man cannot determine policy. I belong to a political party here. I go there during the conferences. We debate. We make policy. Members make policy. One person cannot make policy. So these are the problem we have. So how do people want to change the Cameroon? Bello Buba, Issa Chiruma, Moise Kamto, Barrister Akem, you want to change Cameroon? You tell me how? When France the runner. France the manufacturer on the money. France determine political, socio-cultural orientation. Determine your education at all levels. Manufacture your money. Determine your monetary policy. Control your economic employment. Everything is France. Stabilize your economy is France. So how do you run? Even Mr. Biya don't run Cameroon. They just put him there. We say, oh, we have a president. But France is doing the things. Minister of Finance and Economy in Cameroon is in Motase. He hasn't got a job. Those monetary policies are supposed to be his job. Some of you might say, oh, there's a central bank. Biak is a central bank. No. The Cameroons need to have its own central bank. If you don't have it, it means you don't control your economy. Why is it that Britain left the European Union? They want to control their economy. France is in the franc zone. There is a central bank in the franc zone. Like, let me say, the franc zone is like Biak. Let me put it that way. So France is in the franc zone, which has got a central bank. Biak have got a central bank, but France have still got a Banque de la France, which is a Republican bank in France. So where is the central bank in the Cameroons? Nothing. So how do you pretend? You fool people that you're governing a country when you're not governing. British Cameroon National Party is the only party that will change the Cameroons. If you don't know something, you don't know there's a central bank, you know you cannot manage your own economic monetary policy, you don't understand how central bank functions, management of interest rate, money supply, control inflation, to control government growth. That's what a country should be doing. That's the heart of a country. But you took it and surrendered it in France. Then most of you come presidential candidate, you are excited. When somebody comes there, he stayed there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, nothing changed. You people are annoyed because you don't know what is going on. Nobody knows how to govern in the Cameroons. No one single person. If they knew, they would have been saying what I'm saying. I'm the first person. I've been saying these things. They don't know. I've learned how to govern a country for more than years upon years. Nothing will change. Even if you put Kamto there, the Cameroons will not change. Put Bello Buba there, it will not change. Put Akeremuda there, it's not change. They are deceiving you. France owns that country. Until France goes, nothing will change. They put them there. They promote corruption, so they should be stealing. Then why they take the natural resources? Why can they not tell you? When I come, we'll make sure we start elect our governors. Why are they not saying it? They want the DOs there, the same thing, because it's through the DOs that they steal election. It's true they are creating a lot of chiefs now. They use some chiefs to steal election. The system was constructed so that chop people, the money will stay there forever while the West, they keep on taking our resources. Why can't you stop it? And say we are no longer, if you're a sovereign country, we are no longer exporting our natural resources. Why can you not say these people should come and make factories in the Cameroons? Why can you not say change the constitution of CDC, stop exporting our things? Can we not use our cocoa and make what is chocolate there in the Cameroons? Can we not use our timber and make furniture and create jobs in the Cameroon? Can we not use our golds and manufacture the finished product, diamond and gold there, and sell it to these people? If we don't have the experts, we can ask them, come and do it in our country. We pay them. We employ them to work for us in the Cameroons. And they create jobs there, and everybody will have jobs. The reason we can never have jobs is because we export all of our things. We can use most of the things that in the Cameroons. We have the people of the Cameroons who are expert in every field, all over the world. We have them. We can call them to come where we don't have them. Whether we are calling Americans, German, French to come to the Cameroons. But because we are so evil in the Cameroons, we are so evil that we are working for France instead of our people. It's a shame. People will think that somebody will come. Nothing will change. And as I said, I made up my mind more than 35 years ago. I will single-handedly free British Cameroons from the hands of La Republique du Cameroun. I will use your laws. I will not use gun. The pen is mightier than a bullet. Those people who took guns, they have put us into trouble, because if we were using their laws, we would have been far away now, maybe halfway through. But you use guns now, they take that excuse now and they are killing people. I don't believe in gun. Most people, they don't believe in this fight to free British Southern Cameroons. They don't believe in it. People come there to make their gains. And most of you are talking. When I was a boy, that's when I started fighting for British Southern Cameroons. A boy. Most of you have been deflecting. SDF, CNU, this. I have never. I have been long to only one fight. Human rights fight, which is still linked with the British Southern Cameroon. Because I knew long ago that La République du Cameroun was not an independent country. I knew long ago that in 1959, La République du Cameroun surrendered its independence to France. I knew that long ago. Most of you did not know that. Most of you have been talking, oh, unification, reunification, prophets of the... I said, no, there's nothing like reunification. I said, no, there's nothing like the Cameroon used to be one. It has never been one. It was a Portuguese sugar slave plantation. Your professors, they will come and lie you. I said, no, Rio dos Cameroons was a Portuguese sugar slave plantation. It was never a country. So people don't think. I've seen professors that come, oh, British Southern Cameroon was never independent. I was the one who came. I said, look, a country does not need to be independent. A country needs political authority, a territory, and a population. British Southern Cameroon had a political authority, Dr. Ndeli, a parliament, a house of chiefs. They have an international boundary, a territory. They had a population. That was a country. I brought that to light. And that's why I'll end this program to say, we have educated people in the Cameroons, but we don't have intellectuals. Intellectual, they think, the ability to think. If you only educate yourself, because they taught you in school that the reunification of the Cameroons, then you don't go and think, how can they something reunite? You reunite something that was not existing. There was no country like one Cameroon before. Under the Portuguese, under the Dutch, it was a slave sugar plantation. That's intellectualism. That's thinking. But most people don't think. Most people don't. When they teach you ABC, you say ABC. You don't question why they are teaching you Napoleon Bonaparte, Hitler, welfare, Truman. Why are they teaching you? Question your teacher. Why? They just take, Famdongo just take syllable and force it to you. And how does Napoleon Bonaparte help you? Because they don't want you to know your own history. They are afraid that if you know your own history, you're going to rebel. So ladies and gentlemen, La République, they already get them, how do you call it, their president. They get president. That election are just fake. And I be don't tell all my brothers and sisters, people who they I be don't tell all and say, I do wait after October. Oh, now, go join. I want to talk, the talk say 2025 will be different. After that, Mona just resign. Mona not ever talk politics, because any man, where if it come to pass, say Masabia they win again, it means they don't ever do politics in the Cameroon, because you don't have a good sense of or the ability to make judgment. Good leaders are people who can sit and analyze things and come out with a conclusion. And myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, I believe I have that judgment and ability to judge and know the outcome of something. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroun National Party. Have a wonderful evening.
Un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger?
Monsieur le Président,
À l'Assemblée, il y a un Dieu. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un Dieu. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un Dieu. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Sonia Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux. Docteur, tout Joseph, professeur à Los Angeles, comment pouvez-vous nommer un individu à un poste pendant 25 ans, 20 ans directeur de tant, 30 ans? Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos familles, vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos amis, vous partagez le pays avec vos familles.